speak your mind. Crazy ideas aren't always as crazy, and if they sound crazy to someone, that just means that you aren't in the right room saying it. Take a step back, because I want to keep it real. Like, I'm not here to like sugarcoat things. Currently, I'm waiting for one of my tenants to vacate the property, so we're ending the lease early.
No, I feel like the first date, I want to ask, like, what do you bring to the table? That's the first thing.
Hi guys, my name is Ronnie Brumont. I am a publicist at MTV and a real estate investor.
So, one piece of advice that you learned this week that you could share for us. The biggest piece of advice that you learned this week.
This week, I would say would be to be more vocal. I'm filing my taxes right now. Yes, I know I'm a bit late, and I found out that there was a screw up with my 2021 tax return, even though most people are doing their 2022. And I should have stayed more on top of it, but I think naturally women tend to be a little bit more timid when it comes to like saying what's on their mind. But I had to, this was another reassurance for me to know I know what I'm talking about. I know a little something about most things, so just speak up and not be afraid to raise my voice. That's one thing.
A CPA was doing your taxes, or you do your taxes?
A CPA did my taxes, but there was just some mix-up with 2021. But 2022, I got a new CPA. Looks like we're going to be on the money.
Okay, facts. I still be using TurboTax. I need to invest in a CPA.
I need to do TurboTax. Save me some money. Shoot.
But was there anybody, because I know you're an entrepreneur and you also have a job, so you're like a intrapreneur, like you have a job and you're an entrepreneur?
I like that. Okay.
So tell me, growing up, did you have any like role models that you looked up to, like that was a entrepreneur in your family? In
my family? Okay, good thing you clarified. In my family, yes, I would say my dad was probably the first example of an entrepreneur that I saw. He's definitely heavy into real estate. He's done it solo with buying land down in southern states and flipping it for a higher price. He's had investment properties up here in Jersey with some friends. He's even done school bus companies, you name it. So he's always been creative and always had an entrepreneurship mindset, and I think he instilled that in me 1000%.
So the crazy thing is, I got a chance to speak to your dad, actually. I was saying this before, like he was giving me like a lot of game in terms of business. Like he told me about the school bus company, and he was like making like $50,000 a month. Like it was like crazy. And he explained to me like he gave me an example of like Michael Jordan, saying that like Michael Jordan had like a clause in his contract that was like a for the love of the game, because NBA players they're not like allowed to play like on any other court. I mean, they're not allowed to play outside the NBA. Mm-hmm. But Michael Jordan like wrote in his contract that like he could play anywhere.
Oh wow.
So he gave me that game. He also told me like my daughter, like, he was gassing up saying like, yo, my daughter, her biggest like problem right now is that she wants to travel the world and all her friends can't travel with her.
He knows I love to travel.
What's your favorite country? What's your favorite country?
I guess I have to be biased and say my favorite country is Antigua, because that's where my dad's from, and the island is beautiful, and we have over 365 beaches.
How many beaches did you visit when you were there?
I'm not nearly as many.
Not nearly as many?
I need to go back. I haven't been since the pandemic.
How many countries have you visited since you like do you know the number off the top of your head?
It's not a large number. I think I repeat countries too many times.
You repeat countries?
Yeah. Like if I have a ball, like I've been to Antigua a bunch of times. I've been to Mexico a bunch of times. I'm still exploring like pockets of like cities and states here in the States. I took my first solo trip this past summer to New Orleans, and I've already been there 4 times. So it's like, once I love a place, I love it. But I'm looking forward to Paris.
Oof.
That's the trip that's coming up next.
Question, are you going with people? You're going with people every time you go on a trip?
Most times, yeah, but sometimes it's family, or I have to wait and like...
Okay. So I want to talk about, so you said growing up, you had your dad. He was a huge entrepreneur in your life, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me, when you get to college, like when did you get into like the real estate? When did you start?
So the real estate didn't start for me, honestly, until post-grad. I graduated from Rutgers University. Woo! in 2018.
Wait, New Brunswick or Newark?
New Brunswick. Although now I do see that the professors are on strike, so maybe I shouldn't be wooing too loud.
I seen that.
Yeah. But no, I started post-grad. I think I know I could remember the very first time I put in an offer for a home. I was super nervous.
Okay.
I was working at MSNBC at the time. I probably shouldn't have been doing it during work hours.
Question. So, after you got out of college, I don't want to jump. MSNBC. How'd you get that position? Talk about that real quick.
Okay, so prior to MSNBC, post college, I was at a small nonprofit organization in their communications department. I studied PR at Rutgers, and my 9 to 5, I'm a PR professional. I did not like that nonprofit at all. I had interned my entire senior year at Rutgers at NBC News.
What's the nonprofit called?
I'm not saying
you can't
that.
Say it. Okay, that's fine.
I just kept comparing it to NBC and MSNBC and saying, this is not it. Like, I grew a passion for politics. It's not in the infamous 30 Rock building. So I just kept my networks and kept my eye open for opportunity. And maybe like 7 months later, post-graduation, I ended up at MSNBC, and I was there for about 3 years.
3 years. And wait, what were you doing at MSNBC?
I was a communications coordinator.
Okay. And what were the roles that you were doing? Like, because when I think of MSNBC, I'm thinking of like news. I'm thinking of like sports. I'm thinking that's what comes to my head.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. I worked mainly with what you call the opinion side of MSNBC. We have like the hard news, which is like more of the daytime, and then I worked for prime time, which those reporters like the Rachel Maddows, the Chris Hayes, the Joy Reids, they're able to give their opinion on things a bit more and add their personality to the news. So I worked a lot with those on-air talents, along with our opinion reporters on the weekend, like Reverend Al Sharpton and Tiffany Cross when she was at the network, and Jonathan Capehart. And so my job was really to help elevate them as reporters and the show overall, to help in turn, increase the MSNBC brand and hopefully like increase viewership.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was an exciting time. I just knew it was time to pivot after the presidential election. That was a really tough time for everyone who worked in the news industry. And then Black Lives Matter movement was like very heavy during that time frame as well. So I needed to take a beat, and I had ventured off into going into the entertainment realm of PR. PR,
okay. Yeah. So 3 years. Mm-hmm. Black Lives Matter. This presidential election or the one before?
No, this one.
So Biden and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you said, all right, let me take a break. So what's the next job that you say you want to go into entertainment? What's the next thing that you decided to do?
So the next thing I landed on was BuzzFeed, which was digital entertainment. And I thought that was cool because as we continue to see as years progress, digital is the here and now. Unfortunately, broadcast isn't surviving or thriving as well in this new digital market. We see all these big media companies now making these streaming services to compete. So it was a dope experience being at BuzzFeed. I was only there for a year until I got laid off, which was a challenge for me. I think I took that layoff personally, not truly understanding that it's unfortunate. I'm sure you've seen it all over social media, and people say it all the time, like, to these companies, you're just a number. So I had to really tell myself every day it had nothing to do with my work ethic or the contributions that I brought to the company, but simply that once BuzzFeed became a public company, things had to change. And unfortunately, I was one of the people that was let go. So I guess to bring it back to my dad telling you that I like to travel, I took some time off. One of my girlfriends and I, we went to Miami. We had a blast. And then I came back, worked on my investment property a bit because I had some things that I wanted to renovate and fix up.
Wait. You bought the investment property at the time?
Yeah, we did, because we kind of skipped around.
Skip? All right, so when did you buy that? All right, so when did you buy your first investment property?
My first... Okay, that's a trick question.
Why is it a trick question?
Because I have 2 investment properties. One I did not purchase, one I purchased. So, which story do you want to hear first?
Hear both of them. Okay, talk about the one that you didn't purchase.
Okay. I think God works in mysterious ways. I'm now more than ever a believer of like God's timing, not yours. So just keep your faith. There are so many programs that help first-time home buyers, from national programs depending on your profession, depending on where you live. So the one first-time home buyers program that I had applied to, and it was like over a year-long process, was this program called NACA. They're really good with paying your closing costs, getting you super low, below market interest rates, helping you with different mortgages, providing you with real estate agents, the whole 9. But unfortunately, by the time I got approved for NACA and was ready to house hunt, it was when the pandemic hit. So, at that time, the market was crazy. Everyone had super low interest rates. Everyone was selling and buying and this, that, and the third. And I was specifically interested in a multifamily home.
Okay.
And I think with that rigorous market and NACA being like not well equipped in my area for that, it wasn't suiting my needs. So I took a pause. And my dad, again, being like kind of like my North Star in this whole real estate game, he was like, yo, like, you need to take the money that you had saved up for the home and make the garage into a loft space. So we renovated the garage.
Wait. So question.
Mm-hmm.
So you said NACA, COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
You were eyeing a multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you buy that Wait.
I didn't get the multifamily yet.
You didn't get the multifamily?
No, every time I put in an offer, it was never accepted.
Okay, and wait, what was the criteria was multifamily? Were you looking at a certain price? A price point?
I was looking at what NACA approved me for, which I feel like was around the $550,000.
$550,000.
Which is, I think, a combination of things like my income, credit score, all that stuff.
Okay, so your dad told you turn your garage space.
Yes, because I lived at home. I still do.
Okay.
Tried to save money.
As you should. Okay. so you took the garage space and you turned it into a loft.
Yes.
Okay.
And so by the time that project that my dad and I and one of our good family friends had renovated, and it was kind of like our passion project, by the time that was finished, I rented that out, and then I started going back, and I said I'll just do an FHA loan. I won't go through NACA. I'll just do an FHA loan.
Okay.
And
what's an FHA loan for people that don't know?
FHA loan is a loan for first-time home buyers, and it allows you to put a lesser percentage down payment down. So usually I think it's like between 3 and 3.5%. But the only thing with that, and which is different from a conventional loan, is you do have PMI, but after a certain amount of equity, I believe it's 20% equity that you put into the home, the PMI will be dropped. So I definitely think it's great pros to exploring the FHA loan, although I did see that now they're giving options to extend a 30-year mortgage to a 40-year. So just be be careful with that, because I think that could be the market is already competitive, so I think that makes it even more competitive, because they're trying to make it easier for home buyers to be able to afford to purchase a home by saying like, hey, instead of paying it off in 30, you have this 40-year extension now, but not realizing that you're paying even more interest. So you can be paying up to like $100K more interest by taking a 40-year fixed loan as opposed to a 30-year.
You have this loft, you're renting it out. What's the next thing that you do?
So my timeline was a tiny bit off, but while I was renovating the loft, I decided to do the FHA route. And so at the time that the loft was like fully renovated and ready to rent, I was under contract with my 2-family home that I also purchased.
Okay, and question: when you're going to find these houses, like, what criteria are you looking for? Are you putting into like a rental calculator? Are you looking at the comps? Like, what's like the process behind that?
Yeah, so I definitely was looking at the comps because that was important to make sure the numbers made sense. I needed to get a profit based off of the estimate of what the mortgage would be. One thing that I will flag to those that are listening, and your realtors would know this, because when you sell a home, you're selling it obviously for more than what it was previously purchased as. What the sellers list as the annual tax rate is not what's going to be your taxes once you take on ownership. Because, for example, I don't mind sharing my numbers. For the home that I purchased at the top of 2022, the previous owners had bought it, I want to say, for like 80 or 90K. I purchased it for 431.
So you bought that they bought it for 80, 90K. So I'm guessing it appreciated over time.
It was like complete rehab. So they did a complete rehab on the home. So they probably bought it like at a auction. At an auction, okay. Yeah, because it needed a complete rehab. So they did a complete rehab, made it modernized, and then put it back on the market. And they flipped it.
So wait, question. So why did you buy a house that was already like redone? Because I know like a lot of people like preach like, oh, go buy a fixer upper and put sweat equity in there.
Yeah. So everyone's I would say everyone's path, everyone's journey is going to be different. Because I had already put so much sweat equity, as you call it, into my garage, making that empty shell into a loft space. For me personally, you asked what I looked for. I didn't want anything with a lot of renovations because I had just put thousands of renovations into making an empty garage into a loft space. I knew I wanted to look in Newark because I'm from Newark, so I want to pour back into my city, and I truly believe that we will be like the next Jersey City, the next Hoboken, the next Brooklyn. So I wanted to jump into that race early. I knew because I wanted a multifamily, I'm not some slumlord, so I also wanted to keep in mind like, okay, I need something that has either a garage or driveway access so that way my tenants could park and they don't have to worry about finding parking every night on the street. So there were certain criteria that I had, and I was able to find my gym. I was under contract way longer than most people are. Most people, it takes like 2 to 3 months to close. I went under contract.
Like 2 or 3 months to close? Really?
Yeah, for a home, yeah. It usually takes like 90 days.
I heard some people be closing like in a week.
Oh, wow, really?
Like really quickly. I don't know how they close quickly.
Oh, you want to hear me? Yeah. I went under contract October of 2021. I didn't close until February 2022.
Wait, why did it take so long?
It was hiccups on the seller's end. So we were in a waiting game with them, but I was willing to wait because I knew that I found the gym that I had been wanting since 2019.
Okay, so yeah. So you have this property. You said how much? You said the house was 400. How much?
It was listed for 419. And then I offered 431. Dad, he thought that was like the not so smart thing at the time, because for him, when he was heavy in investing in properties, it was always like
lowball.
Yeah, get your money on the buy. But for me, buying in the pandemic, it was heavily competitive. Everyone was offering more than asking price. I even was the lowest offer that they got. They picked me because my realtors are pretty well known, and they knew that it would be a smooth process selecting me.
Okay.
But I looked at the pros and cons of it. Like, I was getting a super low interest rate because during that time interest rates were lower. I also had just finished renovating my loft space, and initially, if someone were to ask me like 3 years ago what kind of home did I want, I would tell them like, oh, I only want a 3 to 4 family. I ended up buying a 2-family home. But that's why I say, like, God's timing, and you can't, like, when you make plans, he laughs, because no, I didn't get the 3 to 4 family that I wanted initially, but I have 2 investment properties, 1 loft space, and then a 2-family with a 3-car garage and driveway that I plan to start renting those out too once I get those fixed up.
Okay.
Because parking's already tight.
Okay, in Newark especially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you have this. You said you did an FHA, so you put 3% down on the $400,000 already?
Yeah. So mine was actually kind of unique. It's not typically done this way, but like I said, because I was they went with me even though I was the lowest offer. I had to pay my down payment in the beginning of them accepting my offer, and then at the end when we closed, all I had to do was pay the closing costs. When
you had to pay the closing costs? Yeah. I know some people like try to make like the seller pay the closing costs at the end.
That's only if I think that's only if there's like certain
problems with the place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can negotiate that stuff. Everyone's walk is going to be different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, so if I'm somebody, I want to buy my first real estate property, right? Mm-hmm. First, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to get my 9-to-5 job. I'm going to make sure my credit score is, because you say your credit score is really good.
Yeah.
I make sure I have a good credit score.
Absolutely.
Next, I'm going to get in touch with the right people. You say you had the right realtors, right?
Yeah. Make sure you have a good savings, too.
A good savings.
Because they ask for your bank statements. They ask for like 3 to 4 months of your bank statements.
I have an unpopular opinion. You're not going to like it, though.
What?
I don't like saving.
What do you just invest in?
I'd rather invest than save. Because I feel like when you save, people save for nothing. And then the bank takes their money and like flips it like 10,000 times over, and then they make no money. You feel me?
That's true.
But I would save for something. Like, I would never save just to be like, I have $100,000 in my
But
savings.
at least something, like whether you're showing you have equity in stocks, whether you have it like in your checkings or savings account, because they're going to ask, your mortgage lender is going to ask for those statements.
Facts.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so now you have 2 properties.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing currently? What were you doing currently at the time? So now we know, because you told us you was working at BuzzFeed.
Yes. So God is good.
Okay.
I was still at BuzzFeed at the time while I had these 2 properties. I closed, I'll never forget, February 1st, 2022, a day before my birthday. Shout out to the Aquarius. And then the following month, I got laid off from BuzzFeed.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah, and because everyone was losing their jobs during COVID, my mortgage lender had to call my boss right before I closed to confirm I still work there. So I'm like, thank God it didn't take a month later than it did, because I would have been unemployed. I don't know if it would have been canceled, but maybe it would have changed like the interest rate or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now 2 properties. You don't have a job, so what are you thinking at this point? Are you thinking like, I could survive off my 2 properties? Am I looking for another one? Like, what's going through your head at this point?
So, first point, I'm devastated. I'm crying, if I'm being honest. I think I called my dad first. He was in the meeting, then I called my mom, and then I had them on 3-way, and I'm bawling out that I lost my job. But once I got over that, yes, to answer your question, I was super grateful that I did have my first investment property that was already rented out, because that gave me some cushion. And then I just took, I know I made up my mind, and I'm comfortable with saying that I'm not the best multitasker, and it's okay. So I think I looked at it as, I'm going to use this time off instead of rushing to apply for another job, to rest, because rest is also a part of productivity, travel, and get my home that I just purchased, a 2-family home, like smaller renovations, tweaks that I wanted to do to make it more appealing to renters and get those rented out. So I would say by June of 2022, I had both units rented out, and I was starting my new job, which is at MTV.
Okay. So now MTV, right? MTV, and you have 2 properties. Are you looking for more properties currently?
So currently, yes, I'm looking for new properties, but just to take a step back, because I want to keep it real. Like, I'm not here to like sugarcoat things, and I do appreciate when I see other entrepreneurs and real estate investors also talk about like their low points. Currently, I'm waiting for one of my tenants to vacate the property, so we're ending the lease early. So my first order is by the end of April. I want someone else in, because I've been losing money on that. They haven't been paying rent. I would don't be Mrs. Nice Gal like me. Start the eviction process early. If you see red flags, nip them in the bud. Like, for me, it was like the 2 red flags that should have told me that this was, like, they call it a professional tenant, someone who, like, you know, works the system. 2 red flags in the beginning was not being aware that the rent was due on the 1st. They thought it was the 15th. You signed a lease that said the 1st. And the second red flag, which I also overlooked and gave a chance to, was pets, because I have a no pet policy. Sorry for all the people that like dogs, but...
Wait, why do you have a no pet policy?
I feel like it's just...
Did somebody tell you that, or you just... Like...
I don't want pets. I think, like, if they, like, mess up the apartment or anything like that, I'd just rather, like, not deal with it.
Okay, so
yeah.
So question, so your tenants, right? How do you, like, check them out? Like, what's, like, the process? Because I asked, like apartment owners, like, and they say, like, oh, they need to be making triple the rent, their credit score. I need to call, like, their old, like, person. Like, how do you do that?
So, for my loft space, because it was in my home, like, in the same property of the home that I live in, I vetted those tenants, screened those tenants. And yes, I was looking at credit scores. I was asking for paychecks to show, pay stubs to show that you are employed. I ended up going with someone who's an entrepreneur. So with that, I asked, I think, I was, like, very cautious with that. I think I asked for, like, the past, like, 3 to 6 months of bank statements, because I wanted to make sure, like, okay, I'm not knocking entrepreneurship because I am one myself, but I want to make sure you have steady income because you're an employer isn't paying you. I had 2 references, and speaking to the previous landlord, like you said. My 2-family home, I wanted to focus on also looking for another job, so I had hired a realtor to find those tenants for me.
Okay.
The one set of tenants that she found are fabulous. The other one, which is the one that's breaking the lease early, not the best. And I will say with that is either know that the person that you're hiring is going to do the job as diligently as you, or just do it yourself. And for me, I probably should have just done it myself, or had a final round of interviews of, like, okay, you tell me your top 2 or 3 candidates, and then I'll speak with them last.
You will choose them.
Yeah, so that would be my, like, wise words to anybody, is listen to the red flag, file eviction as soon as possible, because even if you do work it out with your tenant, you could always recall the eviction, but at least you have that process in motion in case things do go south, like in my case. I'll be looking for a new tenant, and then after that, yes, I am actively looking. Okay. I decided that this weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah, I need to buy another property.
Wait, so okay, so you were talking about how to screen. I know the word, it's screen, like screen and vet your tenants, right? So you said that for the first one, entrepreneur, you screened him, everything was fine. Then you let the realtor do it. Are you hiring property managers for these places or no?
So I'm so glad you asked that. I don't have a property manager. I will find the podcast that I listen to and share with you after, so maybe if you want to plug it in your description. But my cousin sent me something of this.
What was the podcast?
I don't remember the name.
Bigger Pockets? No? Alright, well, you can send it to me later.
Okay. But he was a real estate investor, and he was talking about how he notices now that he's a businessman, and for all of the properties that he has a property manager, because he doesn't want to get involved with the nitty gritty. I'm trusting in God, and he knows my heart and my plans to have multiple investment properties. So I think I had to have a harder learning curve from my first one that I purchased, because for my next, I will definitely have a property manager. I also do think, though, that there's a lack in, like, the North Jersey area, because when I was searching, I saw some, but I don't know, maybe my standards are too high. I didn't like the reviews. Criteria? No, yeah.
Wait, how much are they asking? 5% of the rent?
Yeah, it depends,
like
but
percentage?
around that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you in charge of like fixing like the little stuff? Like, are people calling you and saying like,
So
hey?
thank God no one's calling me at 2 a.m.
Okay.
That would give me PTSD because I used to be a RA. But they're if they do text me at a later time at the night, if it's not something super urgent, sometimes I'll respond back. But most time it's like, okay, this is a time where someone could possibly be asleep, so I'll just respond in the morning. And what I like is that the two out of three tenants that have been great so far, they're really good at letting me know issues in advance, so I can get a faster start at a quicker start at fixing them, instead of them like going months and months and then it's this huge problem. Yeah.
Okay, and you said that the tenant that was giving you red flags in the beginning, the leases that you're signing, you're doing 1-year leases, or you're doing month-to-month leases?
For my loft space, that was another thing. For my loft space, I did a month-to-month lease. That was also because since they were an entrepreneur and and that was also their first time renting. They had lived at home prior. I didn't want to put them into anything that they couldn't handle. So for that, I did month to month. And then for my 2-family home, I did 1-year leases.
1-year leases. Okay, so the woman, and are you collecting your rents like in cash in person, or you're doing it like an app that does it for you?
So currently I'm doing it through one of like the third-party distributor apps.
Yeah.
Like
right now, I don't know. I seen some like.
No, I'm doing like through like Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, like those kind of things.
Okay.
But I do want to start looking into like the specific ones for like rental, like landlord rental relations, just because I know it can manually do like, okay, you're late, so if I have a 5-day grace period and you're paying me on the 6th, it automatically doesn't allow you to pay your rent for this month until you complete it with the late fee, whatever that late penalty is.
Whatever you decide.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And question: Did you structure it anyway? Do you have an LLC for your thing, or do you have like a? Did you structure it anyway like that, or?
So I do have an LLC, because I bought this home under an FHA and it's a personal loan. I didn't do any of the business under the LLC, but for my future properties that I plan to make use of the LLC for, I will.
Okay, so are you getting LLCs? I've seen some people that get LLCs for like each of their properties. Like LLC because they don't want like the if someone sues them, like they see that they have all these properties. Like
yeah, that's smart.
Okay, so the red flags. So the lady, she didn't pay you. She thought it was the 15th. So you noticed the signs. You didn't do anything about it. Is New Jersey like one of those states that like tenant friendly states?
Yes.
Like, very tenant friendly.
Very tenant friendly.
How long does it take you to evict somebody?
So I've heard when I spoke into different attorneys that it is a long process because they were backed up from the pandemic, and depending on what county you live in, it can be even more backed up. Because my properties are in Newark, they told me that the eviction process takes longer, but my mom actually was speaking to, she spent the Easter weekend with a real estate investor in Florida, and that person has a property in Englewood, New Jersey, and that eviction process took like no time. They missed this past March's payment. She filed immediately and they got a court date. So I don't know if that so I don't know if that has anything to do with the area, because Englewood is a more affluent area than Newark. I don't know if maybe now that's just a positive sign that the court system is like freeing up and they're like up to speed with their cases. So
okay.
Yeah.
And is it like, so when you told do you tell the people like, hey, like I'm gonna evict you, or is it like you just send them notices?
So you would just, you could either do it through an attorney, or you could file an eviction yourself. You would just submit the form and like your documentation of the reasoning. There's different reasons why you can evict someone. And then they would get a notice like officially from the courts with the said court date. And then whenever your court date is scheduled upon, that's when you would go before a judge, and the judge will make the final decision if the eviction will happen or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just like that, and then you get a new person, and then just new person in. How about like I always seen like TikTok videos of like people that get like their house like destroyed, like after like the eviction, like everything's like teared down.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure. I need to mentally prepare for that.
You mean mentally prepare?
I need to because maybe mine is destroyed.
Wait, have you seen? Wait, question. Do you go? Do you? You probably can't do that though. Like you can't go see the property like when they're living there. Do you do like pop-ups and visits? Or?
No, that's like unless you specifically put that into your lease agreement, you have to give them like several days notice to enter their apartment, and it usually has to be for like
a valid reason.
Yeah, a real cause.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this, right? I wanted to do a business called rental arbitrage. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
It's like basically you don't own the property, and you basically are Airbnb-ing people's places.
Oh, yeah, like when certain rental agreements let you sublet.
It's a sublet,
yeah.
like it's like subleasing.
Yeah,
that was gonna be my real estate strategy. Like, hey, like I have a lot of cash. I know I could probably furnish an apartment and do something that. Has anybody ever came up to you with the idea, like, hey, like I can Airbnb your spot, like, or have you ever thought, like, hey, maybe I can Airbnb my place?
Yeah, so I actually toyed with that idea for the loft space that I renovated, because that's very modern. I could see me furnishing it. It would probably get lots of hits from like an Airbnb or a Vrbo. The only reason why I was hesitant for doing that is because, like I said, since it's still on the same property as the home I live in, just for myself being a woman and like safety concerns, I didn't know how comfortable I felt with like strangers going in and out of
your house. Okay.
Yeah, even though it is separate entrances, they wouldn't need to like enter my home at all. It's just like the backyard is just a shared space. And then for my 2-family home, don't think anyone
will be happy with like I see what you're saying. Yeah. Will be happy with anybody walking in and out.
No, what I don't think that area of Newark is like Airbnb friendly yet.
Oh, really?
Per se.
I went to Newark. I remember I went to an Airbnb in Newark, and like I think they charged the girl paid like $300 just for the night. We used to only spend one night, and it was up and down, like both floors like rented out.
Oh wow!
So
okay,
it was like
but no, crazy. I was really I do want to explore probably if. I don't know, rent is so high here. I would say in another state, I would explore what you're saying.
Like the Airbnb. Yeah. I want to do it in a different state. Like I pitched this to some of my friends. Like they brought up the idea to me, and I told them let's do it, but like we still like haven't done it.
Let's do it then.
You want to do it?
Yeah, come on.
We're
making it known here, guys.
We're gonna talk about that. Like I wanted to do like, let's say like you go down to Georgia, like any other state, and then you just. I was thinking like themed Airbnbs. I seen a guy who did themed Airbnbs, like a pink room.
Yeah.
All pink furniture.
Like surprisingly, those probably make more hits than like someone renting out a regular home. People even like
I'm gonna send you the podcast
make like Airbnb. I'm making this up, but like bowling alleys.
I seen it.
Like you get what I'm saying? So it's like so creative and
I seen it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the podcast I watched. This guy who does it, like he makes like crazy amounts of money.
Okay.
And mind you too, it's more like a business. So like apartments are like more friendly of people doing it because it's kind of like, yo, I'm running a business. If my business doesn't work, month to month lease, I could leave basically.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pay you more like rent basically.
Yeah.
But the only cons is like no appreciation.
Yeah.
Like you don't appreciate like how your house is appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. It's pros and cons with everything. I think I'm loving that there's so many like creative ways and different avenues that people can get involved with real estate. And to me, yes, I was introduced to it by family, but it's something I ended up loving, and I'm hoping that eventually, like, with the passion that I have for it, plus me putting in, like, the hard work, the sweat, the prayers, the support from the community, meeting people like you that are like-minded, I can really, like, make this my quote-unquote 9 to 5 and retire by 30. That is the goal.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other businesses that you would start?
Ooh, yes. I'm going to say it because I'm a big proponent of speaking things into existence. So, you got to hold me accountable. This year, definitely. I want to start selling on Amazon.
Like what I did?
What you sell on Amazon?
I sold like thousands of books on Amazon, like Amazon FBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. I sold like 1,000. I gotta show you the video. I sold like thousands and thousands of books on
I didn't
Amazon.
know you did.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. I sold a bunch of books on Amazon.
Okay, yeah, I want to get into FBA.
FBA is cool. I'm gonna tell you the pros and cons after. I'll tell you the pros and cons after. But it's cool.
That's another.
But like the thing is, it's a lot of work though. That's the only thing. Like I like passive money. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because when I was making like, I don't know if I want shit, but like I was making like from the stock market. I had days I was making like 15,000, and then I have to go do Amazon books, and now they'll be nice I didn't sleep. Cause now like sometimes I don't sleep because like I'm so like focused on trying to make as much money as possible. But Amazon FBA like that, those are the nights like it was hard like storage units of books. I bought these things called.
Were you did you get someone to package your books for you, or you were doing?
I was doing it here. I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you the photos and stuff. Like I got these things called Gaylords, and Gaylords are like these huge units of books, probably like 10,000 books.
Okay.
I put them in a storage unit, and like I had my scanner, and it took us like weeks. Like I still have books till this day from the Gaylord. Okay. That's how many books they were.
Cause I'm trying to find like a supplier could do.
That's what I wanted to do. Just one product, Alibaba, AliExpress, whatever it is, and just flip that product multiple times.
Yeah. I know a few people who are pretty successful off of it.
But do you know what they said? No, I don't want to broadcast it because I feel like this video is gonna go viral. So like just in case, I don't want anybody to steal my idea. That's cool that you said that. Like I ain't went to Amazon.
I know. That's why it's good to say your ideas out loud. Like you never. I was just saying it out loud to speak it into existence for him to hold me accountable, and he's like, "Wait, I already did that. Been there, done that." And it's just you speak your mind.
Thanks. Crazy
ideas aren't always as crazy, and if they sound crazy to someone, that just means that you aren't in the right room saying it. Simple as that.
That's a fact. Yeah. That's a fact. I want to pivot a little bit, right? I want to talk about, let's get into like a juicy topic. What people really want to hear. Relationships, right? Because I know as entrepreneurs, like relationships like are important, you feel me? Like the person that you're with, the person that you surround yourself with is like, it can make or break you. Like I've seen entrepreneurs get into bad relationships and they stop their business. They cut it short. So you're single right now? I'm single right now. Okay.
It's funny you actually mention that because I think once I would say when I was halfway done with my renovating the garage space into a loft, I was like ending a relationship, and so because I was single and had more free time, because it was also a long distance relationship.
Well, how long were you guys talking for?
We were together for 5 years. Whew. Yeah, but he was very ambitious. Okay. So it wasn't like he never like hindered my dreams, but because I didn't have to put, relationships are work, and that was long distance on top of that. Wait. I had a lot of free time.
Okay, wait, question. Long distance, right? I give someone advice that's going through a long distance relationship right now. Because I have friends that are going through that, and they always like complaining and stuff. So what advice would you give someone that's going through like a long distance? Wait, how far distance are you talking about?
6-hour drive.
What state did he live in?
Upstate New York.
Oh, that's right there. Oh,
Upstate New York?
I know. It's not right there, but I'm saying like it's New York though. But it's not right there.
6-hour drive? It ain't going to Manhattan 20 minutes away.
Alright, so 6 hours. Alright, how often will you see him? But first give that advice. First give that advice though.
Okay, the advice. I'm going to answer your first question first.
Okay, go ahead.
Your first question, yes, it did free up. I gave myself a lot of free time, so I did pour my free time into finishing up my loft space and trying to close on the 2-family that I purchased. I do agree with you. I think that you have to be equally yoked. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, you and I both have to be into real estate, or I wouldn't even equally yoked in terms of just being supporting and understanding, because it doesn't take someone to be an entrepreneur just to respect and honor that if you are an entrepreneur, it's hustle, it's a different type of grind, it's different type of
You think so? I don't know. I feel like if you're not an entrepreneur, right?
You can still be supportive.
You can be supportive, but I feel like it's like hard to like support if you don't like. I feel like you can take it for granted type stuff. You feel me? Like people will be like, "Oh, Donna, why don't you go out more? Like, why don't you spend more time?" But me, I'm hustling, you feel me? And I'm like, and I always be saying this, like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm talking about risk everything, worry about it later, you feel me? Invest now, if I fail, I fail. Who cares? That's the type of entrepreneur I am. Okay. You feel me? Like I have maxed out credit cards like right now. You feel me? I'm over here like until I reach my dream. I'm not paying them off.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna fix that later. We can cover my credit. You know? But I'm saying, but I feel like a lot of people won't understand it. Cause imagine you have a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend, right? And you over here like, nah, man, I can't take you out to eat as much. I can't buy you this nice stuff that you want because I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to start my Amazon FBA business. I'm trying to buy some vending machines. So like, we can't do that right now. I feel like some people won't understand it.
Then if they don't understand it, then they're not for you.
Then they're not for you.
Because I think, yes, you'll have a greater understanding, and maybe if making this up, if we were a couple, are like you, okay, I'm doing the real estate, you did the FBA, I'm asking you questions on that, I'm supporting your vending machine business. Yeah, it may be easier to feed off of one another, so that is a nice like partner to have, but I don't think it's impossible if your partner works 9 to 5 and you're an entrepreneur. Because what if your partner is a brain surgeon or an engineer and is still bringing in racks? As long as you're making money. So let me ask you this. I'm about the money.
You're about the okay. So can you talk to someone that's making less money than you? You make a lot of money. Can you talk to someone that makes less money than you?
Yes.
Are you gonna?
If they have ambition, like because I was unemployed. But at one point,
you had a lot of money at the time, though. You had a lot of savings, though. Your credit score was nice, and you had the loft.
Okay, but I know that you can quickly be brought down.
Facts. That's a fact. Okay.
I set myself up to, yes, when I was down, and thank God I wasn't down for such a long period of time. It was only like 3-4 months. But I know everyone has their highs and lows. If you have that passion, if you say, like, my dream is to build this, like, I'm making this up, cafe in Jamaica and have it be like the poppin' cafe that all the tourists go to. But I know right now you're like just a chef at someone else's kitchen. Like, you know, we could work, and then our passions combine, because then I can find the property for you to build that cafe.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like there's a lot of people are not executors though. Like a lot of people, like they talk about it, but they're not really
then
executing.
That's when you watch them.
We watch
you over time, you see, you can weed out the BS over time.
Over time, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So you would talk to someone that makes less money than you, but they just have to be ambitious. But
I also don't talk about my money so much with dating, because I think,
I feel like that's
I date men. You know, I'm being like,
okay. I feel you. I like how you said that. Okay.
Because I date men, I don't want to intimidate anybody.
Them.
Yeah.
But I feel like the first date, I want to ask, like, what do you bring to the table? That's the first thing. I feel like we getting older. We're getting a lot older.
So what would be your ideal answer? Like, you would be like, wow, okay, I want to take them out on the second date.
What they said to me?
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear, like, I'm ambitious. These are my goals. Because I mean, a lot of people, I won't be like, oh, I'm ambitious. These are my goals. This is what I want to be in the next 5 years. This is my, like, I want to hear, like, what your goals are, what your ambitions are. What do you want to do? If you tell me you want to be at this, the thing is, people always think I try to downplay, like, 9 to 5s, but, like, people that 9 to 5s, like, I like that. As long as you have a goal, like, in 5 years, I want to own, like, 5 apartment buildings. In 5 years, I want to own my own business. In 5 years, whatever you want to do. In 5 years, I want to be the executive at my company. That's all I want to hear.
Right.
I hear a lot of people like, I'm just going with emotions. I'm just living life. Whatever happens, happens. Like, I promise you, like, that's all you hear in here. Man, I'm just going with the flow with it. Whatever happens, happens. You feel me? When the rich man comes, you feel me? Like, that's all I see. So I want to hear, like, someone that has, like, ambition and goal and drive. You feel me?
I would agree. And
you know me, I'm asking, what's your credit score? You feel me? I'm asking, what's your... I'm joking. No, but
that's actually funny you said that, because someone that I'm, like, dating right now, I had said what my credit score was.
And what did he say?
And they were like, oh, that's good. And they were shocked that I had a good credit score. I'm like, don't play me.
Did he have a good credit score?
Yeah, his is higher.
Okay. His is higher? Okay. That's good, you feel me? But I'm telling you, I feel like not enough people ask those questions, and then later on, when they realize, like, dang, like, because mind you, imagine I'm waking up mad early, because mind you, I barely sleep right now, you feel me? I don't sleep. I'm
team
up.
no sleep. Sleep
Team,
is for the rich.
Yeah, sleep is for the rich. You feel me?
Do not burn yourself out, people.
I feel like I'm burning myself. I don't know. You feel me? I feel like I don't sleep now. You feel me? I'm just so on my grind. If I wake up every day and I see like my person is sleeping on the bed, or she's not doing this, or if you wake up, like I know people that give up on life completely. Like their girls is waking up and grinding, and they're just like, oh man, just hop on the game, Netflix all day. Like I can't. How could you? That's weird to me. But like that's why I'm asking people, like, what do you bring to the table? I know people are gonna get offended by it.
So I think what we need to do, because I think there's so many conversation starter cards that you see now for like couples and stuff.
That. Okay,
but they're all more about like romance and sex and what do you like to do for fun and travel. We need to do one for finance.
Facts.
Because that's
important. That's the most
important. That's why most people get divorced, because of
money.
Financial.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I feel like those are conversations. That's the first thing I want to know. Like, how do you handle your finance? Like I can't.
Maybe like date 4 or 5. Maybe not first date.
4? No. 4 or 5?
To ask them their credit score, that's kind of personal.
That's personal. I don't know, but but the thing is, I feel like I'm an open book. Like,
okay, what's your credit score?
My credit score is kind of low right now. My credit score is.
Share it. What's your credit score? What do you bring to the table?
See, my credit score is a 640 right now. It's going up. You feel me? I maxed out credit cards, but well, look, I have assets. You feel me? I'm a thousandaire. Like,
so they got.
You feel me? But
so
like,
they gotta say that extra part.
I gotta say extra.
If they just told you 640 and that's it, like, they would have.
Well, they told me that I'm an entrepreneur. Cause mind you, an entrepreneur, I've seen people, they use their last dime on it from whatever they have type J. You feel me? But like, I'm working on my credit score that's gonna be my goal for 2024.
Okay.
So, mind you, summer. School is holding me back from reaching my full potential.
Okay, well, when you do, I got a shout out to my cousin Ronnie, Quick Start Credit Repair.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know you help me. I need to get him on here.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, imagine like you don't ask those questions, and then later down the line, like you're shocked, like dang, like why is this person so bad with money? Because I feel like a lot of people, they have financial trauma. They have like a bad relationship with money. They see how their parents manage the funds, and then they go out, they spend more than they make. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like me, every time I probably go broke investing, because every time I get money, yo, what's the next investment? How am I gonna flip this money? How am I gonna make more money?
Right.
You feel me? And then some people, it's like, yo, like, what can I spend? What can I buy? Like, how can I talk to an overspender?
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think my approach is just a slightly different. Maybe that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Women are a bit more timid. So I probably wouldn't ask a lot of the questions that you would in the very beginning.
What questions are you asking?
But you could tell, like, not saying that it is an exact way to understand, but you could see like, oh, if someone just took you out to this 5-star restaurant and then next week when you call them, their phone bill cut off, it's like, okay, well, your priorities of what you pay are, yeah, you get what I'm saying? Okay. There's like, or hearing about their goals. It's like, oh, what are your goals? What are your long-term goals? Okay, do you have any passions or stuff outside of your 9 to 5? Like, there's different ways to ask, instead of just being like so cut and dry. Like,
I feel like you get. I feel like my conversations. I'm gonna get into the conversation.
Okay.
And then we can.
You're just giving me the quick notes version right now.
Yeah, like later down. Like I want to do like when we're, you know what I'm saying, when the main course comes out, we're on time for dessert. Then we can start asking those questions.
Got you.
But I feel like you're gonna get to a point. I don't know. But I feel like I never want to get to a point where like I'm always scared. Like, what if I get like really big and then like I'm not gonna know who's gonna like me for me type junk? You feel me? Does that ever scare you? You do a prenup?
Absolutely.
You sign a prenup?
Absolutely. I'm making a prenup for myself.
You make your husband sign a prenup?
Absolutely.
Hey, why?
Okay, I actually saw this video. Some attorney broke it down, and I loved it. I think people have a negative connotation on prenups, as if like it's setting up a marriage for failure. But you have to look at it as it's just insurance. People acquire health insurance not hoping to die from stage 4 cancer. It's just in case they need any medical attention, they have this insurance to help them make those payments.
Okay.
The same with a prenup. In the case that something goes wrong, this, whatever you guys have drawn up, helps both parties be protected.
I only want to get married once. That's like my thing. Like
me too.
Like on the one person, and then like
me too. Absolutely,
we'll go through anything. We'll go through everything together. If you cheat, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
My ultimate goal, like aside from like becoming this real estate mogul, my ultimate dream, number one goal is to have a healthy, happy, successful Black family, because I don't think we see enough of that.
Facts.
That's my overall goal in life.
Facts.
Yeah. But I'm still gonna have a prenup with that healthy, happy family.
No, it's like, dang, like what happens? Like I feel like that's like some people it turns them off. Like, why do you want to sign a prenup? But I don't know.
If they don't, if they can't understand, and then like you said, I'm hoping that my partner is like-minded and similar path as me.
That's true.
I'm 26 right now and single. Who knows when I'm going to make that next step to marry someone and be committed for a lifetime. I'm sure they'll have maybe a couple assets under their belt prior to me, just like theirs. And it's not to say we're not going to build a new empire together, but whatever we did prior to meeting each other is ours.
Mine.
I don't want theirs either.
Okay.
And they shouldn't have mine.
They should have yours.
I'm not saying that like the income that I'm making wouldn't become shared with my partner, but it's, God forbid, we become divorced. That first 4 units that you got in the
first unit, yeah.
I think we should keep that, and then everything else that we've gotten after should be split equally.
So wait, let me ask you this: Are you sharing bank accounts with your person, with your husband?
I think you should have shared accounts, and I think you should have your own personal accounts.
Okay.
I don't think it should be like on both end, men and women have your own personal accounts.
I feel like, I don't know, I talked to like a lot of like African Americans. They said like everyone has their accounts. Every mom has his account, dad has his account.
No shared.
I'm like,
I think
how does that work?
Be one. My parents, when they were married, they had a shared account.
My parents have a shared account too. But it makes sense. Like the money comes in, and then we just divide the money to like.
Yeah. Okay, but before I put mine in the shared account, I'm putting whatever percentage in my personal.
In your purse? Okay.
But again, I don't really know how those things works. But that would be a conversation we would have like before we get married, of like how we're.
No, I'm telling you, first date conversations. First date conversations. I feel like but low-key, I feel like you can learn a lot about how someone manages their money. You feel me?
No, yeah, you can.
You can learn a lot. So, question. So, like the first date, if you, what would you want to go? Like, would you want someone to take you on some nice, fancy, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, so it doesn't have to. I'm appreciative of fancy, obviously. Like, who doesn't want to get wined and dined? But I'm down for any experiences. Like, if you took me to, I see a lot of like back and forth on the internet lately about like a coffee shop not being considered a date.
A coffee shop?
I think it is.
You go to a coffee shop? I've never been to a coffee shop.
But to me, because I do like the vibe of coffee shops, and I'm a big advocate for supporting Black businesses, if somebody was like, here, I want to take you to this new like Black-owned coffee shop I found, I'd be like, but what I like, little things that I notice that I'm big on is like, if you don't tip and stuff like that.
They say Black people don't tip. I be trying to like change the narrative. Like, I put $100.
What percentage?
100.
No. Okay.
No. But I try to make sure everybody. I feel like if everybody tips at the table, it's a big tip. You feel me? Like if I give $5 and everyone here gives $5, you feel me? I try to tip.
Yeah.
I always try to tip. You feel me? Because I know they be sometimes I hear waitresses being like $2, $3, whatever an hour. So I'm like, I got to tip.
Yeah.
You feel me? So if the waiter was rude, are you still tipping?
15%, unless it was horrible service.
Wait, how much are you tipping?
I tip between 18 and 20.
18 and okay, 18 and 20%.
But you in college, so do what you can do.
Nah, but I be trying to. No, but usually they always make me pay for the bill though.
Who? Like, the people that you go out on dates with?
Usually. No, I'm talking about like, let's say we go out as a group. I usually pay, like, they make me pay the bill. So,
and do they like cash app you back or something?
Yeah, everyone like cash apps me back for me. But like the thing is, question: when you go to, let's say you go out in a group, how you splitting the bill?
I literally just had this conversation with one of my girlfriends. Hey, Joy. So I told her if everyone got relatively the same thing, let's just split it evenly and keep it simple.
Okay.
The only way I'm gonna say like, oh, Donald, yeah, you can like actually just Zelle me what you owed is if like everyone got a 3-course meal and we were having like alcoholic beverages and the only thing you got was one appetizer and tap water. Then it's like, all right, it's not fair for you to split our tab.
We usually just split it down the middle. So like whatever it is, every many people a day we just divide it.
That's good. That's the way I like to do it.
But the only problem is that is like, for example, let's say I spent $70, I got steak in this, and someone only spent $30. They're gonna have to pay like $50, whatever it is, and they get mad about that. You feel me?
See, I don't get mad, but I know some like. But then again, the people that's getting mad, you gotta see that's probably not somebody you want to date because maybe they find.
I'm talking about like in a group. I'm talking about in a group.
I know, but you can go out with someone in a group and maybe, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that little stuff matters.
I be watching every little thing. You feel me? But that's what I want to do. Like I usually try to swipe so I could like write it off at the end of the year for taxes. Like that's what I like to do, and then everybody just sends me back the money. You feel me? And it's like nice and simple. Hopefully in the future I could do like credit card roulette, like put all our credit cards in the thing, and then like whoever gets it pays for the whole bill. Like I always want to do something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait till my friends get to that point. Yeah, too. I'm trying to get wealthy, but yeah.
What's wealthy to you? Because I know when people ask me like that type of question, like they always like create a surprise like what my answer is. You feel me? Like I ask people like how much you want to make a day? Like you feel me?
Oh.
How much you want to make a month? Like because in my mind like. The reason why I can't work I can't wrap myself around like a 9-to-5 job, because I used to work, you feel me? But then I realized like the value that I'm giving into some of these companies is crazy. Because I always feel like if you get paid $20, you're worth $20. Because if you don't know your worth, listen.
No, it's like harsh to hear, but it's so true. Yeah.
But it's like if you don't know your worth, you're worth what they paid you. So like let's say you get paid $20, but you know I'm worth like 40, 50, whatever. Then all right, cool, you feel me? But me, that's why I can't work a job. Because I remember I was working at Best Buy. I'm packaging the stuff. I see $1,000. I'm looking at the invoices, 100, 200, 300. I'm only getting paid like $16 an hour. Then from there, I never worked after that again.
Yeah, wow.
Because I feel like once you take yourself out that, then you start really critically thinking like, yo, how can I make money? Like, how can I make $1,000 today?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, if I buy a vending machine for $500 and I can make $30 a day, then you really start to think like, if I sell some books, stuff like that, basically.
I love that for you. I'm super, super proud of you.
Feel me? I'm trying to be humble right now. Cause like I was talking before, like I'm proud of her from real estate properties, 20s. Like that's a drink, black from North.
Thank you.
Like all like the all like the accolades.
Thank you. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my loved ones, and I'm doing it for the city. Like. I even did a program not too long ago with a few black girls that go to Shabazz High School. So,
oh yeah, I heard about that. I was supposed to get an invite, but it was like girls only.
Yeah, because I didn't want them to feel nervous. You know, next one though. I do want to broaden it out to men. So you would definitely be dope to have on and like speak to them for sure. But no, to answer your question about what I define as wealthy. I don't think I have a set number, and that's only because going back to, you make a plan and God laughs. I just know that I want to be able to not work a 9-to-5, live comfortably, and my level of comfortability may be higher than some because I like to splurge and buy things and travel and stuff like that. And
do you work and travel? Do you work when you travel? Or you just like, I'm traveling, I'm not working?
Most times I don't work, but sometimes I do.
Okay.
And support my family and closest friends. And I want to be able to give back to specifically black girls in Newark. Facts. Like start some type of like charity organization.
Like a nonprofit?
Once I do that, then I'm like, then I'll let my kids do the rest.
Yeah, let your kids do the rest.
I'll say like, I'll try to get to be I will get to be a millionaire. I'll let my offspring do the billionaire.
The billionaire?
Yeah.
And I want to be a billionaire. I have an idea for
then
it.
I could be your friend. You'll be my billionaire friend.
Fact. I want to. You know what my plan is? I don't know if I should say it on here. No, who cares? All right, speak into existence.
Yes.
The way I'm gonna become a billionaire is I'm gonna leverage people. That's gonna be my goal. Like I build businesses around what people have already been doing. So like my dad's an engineer, my mom's a nurse. We're gonna build like a construction company, and we're gonna build like that's how I'm become a billionaire.
That's
just take
dope.
percentages of everyone, and then like let them have most of the percentage, and just take the small pieces. And before I could be a billionaire.
No, that's
like something
dope.
like that.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Hey, so we answered a lot of questions on it. Usually I ask people like $1 million or 1 million followers to see like where their mind is and which one they will pick.
$1 million? You gotta ask me that, or you know my answer already?
No, I think I know your answer.
$1 million?
I think you're gonna say 1 million followers. Question.
Why would you think I said 1 million followers?
Because I thought you want to leverage the followers and make it. I don't know. Some people say like followers equal more dollars. You feel me? Question.
I could invest those dollars and make more.
You can invest it out. Yeah. You can invest it out.
Followers could be what are like the ghost inactive ones and
Facts,
don't even.
Question. Do you plan on making like a course soon? Would you ever make a course, start a YouTube channel soon?
Ooh. I think I'll probably start putting out more real estate content on TikTok for right now.
Oh, why are you not doing that now? I feel like you need to push.
I need to push.
Start today.
Okay.
Today? You gonna start today?
Okay.
Would you do a YouTube channel? Post the shorts?
I will, okay.
And reels?
Yeah.
On Instagram?
Okay.
I started blowing up on TikTok. Like, I promise you, like, I have some throwaways. I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna post it on TikTok. And then they start blowing up out of nowhere. So you should definitely
gotta talk, yeah.
And they could do courses and like that'll be cool because I feel like a bunch of people need to like know how to like invest into real estate. Because I feel like that's like, and especially in like our culture, I feel like people can't fathom that. Like a landowner,
I know.
I feel like because like land is like scarce.
It is.
So like
it really much is. I think my next will definitely be in the southern states for sure.
Are you eyeing a property right now?
Yes. But I'm not ready to. That one I'm not gonna speak into existence on camera.
Why you not gonna speak into existence?
Okay, I will. Okay, so I do want to purchase another property outside of New Jersey. Either within like the Orlando, West Palm Beach area of Florida, or either in New Orleans. And then the other property that I want to buy is my childhood home where I grew up in.
Ooh.
So
that's fire.
like basically purchase it from my mom.
Oh. Mhm. Why won't she just hand it down to you?
Well, because I want it in my name now.
Oh, you want? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, got you.
Yeah, and she's looking to move, so it's like
that'll be cool. So you could that'll be cool. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Mm-hmm. I need some like a fire gem to wrap this up because like I'm telling you, this is gonna be lit. Like when you see like the reels and stuff I make with this, is gonna be tough. So I want you to
I'm excited.
Put a bow on this episode. You feel me?
Okay.
One piece of advice you could give to a young female entrepreneur. Doesn't know what she wants to do. She's trying to figure out her path in life. What's some advice that you would give them? Like doesn't know like I know probably people are doubting her. She doesn't know like she's getting like, oh, you're a woman, you can't do this, whatever it is. What advice would you give them?
Okay. Biggest advice that I would say is if God put it on your heart, it's for a reason. So don't let the naysayers get to you. Don't let the people who are ignorant, and they may not be ignorant by choice. They may have just never been exposed to any of the ideas that you're trying to bring to fruition. Don't let that stop you, and most importantly, don't let fear and self-doubt stop you. Because I'm a firm believer, if everything that God puts in your heart, any idea that he puts in your mind, it's for you to bring it to fruition. It was not accidental. So do not let any of those other factors prevent you from becoming who you were meant to be and what you were supposed to do on this earth.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
So if you guys got this far, what words should they say if they got this far? Say diamond. If you got this far, put diamond in the comments. Okay. To know that you got this far, but
because diamonds form under pressure.
I like that. But I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Bye. Thanks for having me.